So I recently bought the iPhone 13 mini with the intention of completely switching over to this phone because, to be honest with you, I've used and reviewed the iPhone 12 mini before and I just loved the small form factor. For me, it truly makes a phone so much more fun to use. I can hold it with one hand and do everything with ease. I can reach all four corners without doing any crazy hand gymnastics. In fact, so far I've been using this phone without a case or a screen protector, and not once I was worried that I was going to drop this thing because it's so small that it's really easy to hold and use. But the back glass also has to do a lot with that because it has a glossy finish, which sure isn't very premium. I personally don't love it, but it actually helps you hold the phone more securely because the glass kind of sticks to your hand and the phone doesn't really slide around as much as the Pro models do with their matte finish backs. And I like that. It's honestly really fun to use a phone without a case. But of course, there are times when this size just feels a bit too small. For example, when it comes to the keyboard, it is quite a bit smaller, and that's probably why it took me the first 2 to 3 days of getting used to typing on it. Before that, when I tried typing fast, I often tapped the wrong keys, which ended up slowing me down. So there is a small learning curve here for sure. Now, I've also used the iPhone 13 before, and I recently reviewed that phone as well. So prior to buying this phone, I also had a pretty good idea of what this phone performs like because despite being a lot smaller than the normal 13, this phone still has the same internals for the most part, like the A15 Bionic processor, which is still really fast and snappy. This phone doesn't lag or freeze or anything like that. So whether you're using this phone for everyday tasks like calling, texting, browsing, watching videos, or scrolling through social media, or maybe even for graphically intensive tasks like gaming or photo or video editing, you should not have any problems as far as performance goes. And the 4 gigs of RAM this phone has is also not bad, but it would be nice to have a bit more since now in 2023, 4 gigs even for iPhones is definitely on the lower end. The cameras in this phone are also identical to the normal iPhone 13. And it's actually quite impressive that Apple was able to fit the same 12 megapixel wide and ultra wide angle cameras in this phone because both take really good photos and videos. You can see for yourself the results are nice and sharp with a lot of detail, contrast, good dynamic range, and accurate colors. Even night mode shots look really good. And that's because just like the normal 13, this phone also has the same larger sensor and the same sensor shift stabilization that was introduced with the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And of course, you also get some of the newer features like photo styles, which is something the older iPhones do not have. And photos from the ultra wide angle camera as well as the selfie camera also look pretty good. Although these cameras are not quite as sharp as the main camera, but that's something common across pretty much all phones. But what's not common though is being able to make a fully functioning professional looking website in just a few hours. But Squarespace lets you do just that. Thanks to a bunch of award-winning templates they've got to choose from to get your site up and running in literally hours. You can customize everything however you'd like, and it looks good on every device. You can also set up an online store with flexible payment options to make checkout seamless for your customers, or set up a membership that people can sign up for. And everything is really easy to use and understand, even for someone using it for the first time. It's easily one of the best and one of the most well-known all-in-one website building platforms. So if you want to get started, visit squarespace.com/Spixel and get 10% off your first purchase. And thanks to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Okay, now this phone also has a really good screen. It's a 1080p OLED panel, which probably doesn't sound great because nowadays we're so used to hearing things like 4K and 8K everywhere that 1080p may sound bad. But it's really not because think about it. This is a small screen. It's just 5.4 inches diagonally. So even 1080p looks really sharp on this phone. In fact, this phone has a higher pixel density than the iPhone 14 Pro and even the 14 Pro Max. So this is a good screen. The only thing I guess you can complain about is that it doesn't have a high refresh rate screen. It only goes up to 60 Hz. But even then, honestly, it's probably not a big deal. You probably shouldn't care too much about it unless you're switching from a phone that has a high refresh rate screen. Like I switched from the iPhone 14 Pro, so I could definitely feel the difference. The animations on this phone aren't quite as smooth, which is something I definitely miss. And as much as I want this phone to have a high refresh rate screen, it's honestly probably a good thing that it doesn't because the higher the refresh rate, the more battery it consumes. And these mini iPhones are notorious for having bad battery life, which is my #1 reason for testing this phone before actually switching to it. Because although I knew exactly what this form factor is like and what this phone performs like, including the cameras and everything, from my experience, the iPhone 12 mini had a pretty mediocre battery life at best. So that phone definitely wasn't for me or most of you. But I knew that this phone had a more efficient, newer processor, and this phone had a bigger battery, and even Apple claimed that this phone should last 1.5 hours longer than the 12 mini. which actually seems to be true because on the 12 mini where I was getting up to 5.5 hours of screen on time, on this phone I can get up to 7 hours of screen on time, which is certainly an improvement and one that I highly appreciate because 7 hours, that's actually pretty good. It's not bad. However, in reality, that 7 hours of screen on time was actually achieved without using any 5G, without using any Google Maps, and barely using the camera, which are things most people use almost every single day, especially 5G and Google Maps for navigation. So on the day I did try using the camera and maps, but still no 5G, I got just above 4 hours of screen on time, which is not good. It really doesn't leave you with a lot of room to use social media, watch some videos, maybe talk on the phone, and still have some battery left at the end of the day, maybe 10-15%, just in case you need it. So I was really hoping for this phone to have a good enough battery life for me to use this phone as my daily driver because I love this phone. But unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna work for me. And I would say the same thing for you. If you know you're gonna use 5G, Google Maps, or the camera on a daily basis, then this is probably not the phone to get. The battery life is just not good enough for me and probably most of you watching right now. But yeah, that's all for this video. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you later. Case or a screen protector, and not once I was worried that I was gonna drop this thing.